Okay, good day. I'm Caroline Wong from James Cook University, Singapore, and I'm the Associate Dean for Learning and Teaching, as well as Senior Lecturer for Business. And with me here is Fink, our Learning Technologist, and Abhishek Bhati, who is the Dean for Campus, as well as the Dean for Learning and Teaching. Now today, we're going to bring you through a reflective exercise, as in, we would like to ask some big questions regarding what is happening right now in this pandemic crisis, where unexpected disruptions in the year 2020 has led to disruptions in educational practice for all institutions, as well as in business. So this is where we want to reflect on this journey, embarking on some sense making, as well as what we get out of this ongoing crisis. So for a start, Abhishek, what do you think is the most important takeaway for you as a campus dean and Dean of Learning and Teaching at JCU Singapore?
Thanks, Caroline. Well, in my perspective, the change in mindset of individuals was probably the most important takeaway. May it be students, academic staff, professional staff, key stakeholders, they all were ready and willing to embrace online learning and digitization because they all could see the benefit, whether it is in continuation of their learning or it is in terms of organizational efficiency. Changes that would have taken years to implement, we were able to implement those changes in 12-month period because people were more receptive to change. And that mindset was really important. Probably it was a catalyst to change in the current environment. But I guess it's really important to see what was experienced at the ground level, and probably Esther could share some of her perspectives.
Yeah, I think you said it already. I think the main point really was that the situation impacted everybody. Digital learning became everybody's business, and everybody was involved in one way or another, whether it was about giving prospective students a sense of the learning environment to expect, or whether it was about admissions, onboarding, delivery, assessment, examination, connecting with community, with alumni, webinars, panel discussions, or other events. Digital learning was part of all of that, and being able to collaborate across divisions was really, really essential. In terms of collaboration, Caroline, what are the challenges from an academic perspective here?
Yes, thank you, Esther. I think in terms of collaboration, one of the challenge I see is really, how do you get staff to have a sense of belonging and identity to the institution? I mean, coming from face-to-face and then going completely online. And I think that becomes very pertinent during this period, and how to navigate extensively with the digital media that is embedded within our learning management system. So I think this is one of the challenge that came forward. But of course, it means that the academics have to learn to collaborate with one another. And this is where our community of practice really comes in handy. We had workshops, training, we have little groups that come together to learn to use tools and applications and really get the ball running right from day one. And of course, with your help organizing workshops, even way back in February before we went totally locked down, I think that was a plus for JCU Singapore. Yeah. And I think this is where, Abhishek, from an organization's viewpoint, how do you think the organization prepare for this transition?
Very good question, Caroline. And you know what? Both Esther and yourself said it all in terms of the extent and scope of change that everybody had to go through in the last 12 months. And that change wouldn't have been possible without proper resourcing. so that staff who are going through that change, they feel that they are taken care, they feel that they are not shortchanged, and they are confident about going through the change. So whether it is resourcing in terms of equipment, getting softwares, making sure that there's bandwidth for teaching staff so that they are confident when it comes to delivering the content online. In terms of students, making sure that students did not face any connectivity or accessibility issues. For example, we had to invest in getting a proprietary VPN connection in China so that our students who are based in China were able to access content, were able to participate in online classes, just as students from other countries were able to do so. So that developed a level of confidence, and people were happy to embrace this change that we are talking about. Of course, it also involved looking into staffing strengthening, so such as getting more people in ICT, Infocom Technology Department, providing support to our counselors because there was increased demand for mental health and well-being services. So we need to get more counselors to provide that support to staff and to students online and face-to-face. And even wherever we did not have in-house expertise, how we can collaborate with third party to develop content or to get any other expertise so that we can improve our student experience and we can improve our organizational efficiency. I'm sure, Esther, there were challenges in preparing the students as well.
Yes, student support was essential, especially for our new students. While students who had been with us for a while when they had problems, at least they knew their way around the environment. They knew where to go and how to get answers to their questions. But for the new students, we launched an initiative between the Learning Centre, the library and student services to equip students with the necessary academic and technical skills and really to start establishing a support network. And our peer tutors took on an important role of facilitator and first point of contact in that support network, and we provided some training and support to them to enable them to run virtual sessions, virtual support sessions, and also keep in contact with their peers. In terms of collaboration, supporting each other, Caroline, can you talk a bit about the support for academic staff?
Yes, Esther. I think, as much as the students have to prepare for this inroad into digital learning, I think digital literacy for the staff, became very paramount as well. And I think this is where, earlier I did alluded to the fact that we really had to keep the ball rolling, right? Even though we had a great head start, a great wind start to this whole journey, but we plodded on, all right, with more training sessions, more dialogues, more conversations between staff members, and just getting that sense of community going, hey, we're here to help, all right, well, what do you need, all right, and yourself as a learning technologist and our team of IT help really brought us together to surmount, some of the challenges in terms of online learning and teaching. So I think this is where some of the preparation and also how to engage students online became very pertinent. Yep. So in areas of teaching, you're also talking about how do you ensure that students are really getting the most out of this online platform. Yep. So I think these are some of the challenges faced by our academics as well. And I think this is where getting feedback from the staff, right, and students become very important. And I'm sure you have something to say, Esther, with regards to how do you perceive, students' feedback, feeds into this loop of closing the gap as well.
Yes, getting immediate feedback was really important. Traditionally, we collect feedback at the end of the term, and that was way too late. We needed immediate feedback to understand what are the issues and what can we do reasonably to help and solve problems. So we did a formal pulse survey that was aligned with the end of term survey early on in the term. The lecturers conducted informal surveys in class, and we ran a number of focus groups to get an understanding of what are the issues. But of course, asking questions is not enough. It's really about getting that feedback conversation going and also communicating what action we're taking, and if we can't solve the problem immediately, what is being done to address it. Abhishek, maybe you want to close by sharing your overall impression or key takeaways looking back.
Thanks, Esther. Well, still early days. We are in the midst of the pandemic situation, but it's about small steps, one at a time, and big changes. Changes to learning and teaching, changes to maintaining and protecting mental health and well-being, changes to ensure that organizational continuity and the business continues. But again, because these changes are happening so rapidly, we have to be very cognizant of the extent of change and do it one at a time, keeping the user at the forefront. So whether it is the student or staff, academic staff or professional staff, what impact the change will have on them, how to mitigate that, how to support them, resource them, so that they are able to, they be the masters of the change rather than think themselves as slaves to the change. Collaboration was really important, as you highlighted in your earlier remarks. When everybody works together, it becomes easy to manage and easy to make progress. Focusing on quality, making sure we don't cut any corners, even if we were forced and there were difficult situations. And following the philosophy of continuous improvement, one step at a time, one small change at a time, keeping quality at the forefront, and closing the loop, making sure that we follow up for every feedback that comes in, we take action, and we communicate back to the person who gave us the feedback, so that there is again confidence and trust in the system that yes, their feedback matters and it has been action. And some of all these put together definitely helped JCU manage the situation and become a more resilient organization overall. I'm sure Caroline would have also some thoughts in terms of what were the academic perspectives, Caroline?
Yep. Well, I like to end by saying that, for the academics, it is a necessary evil, all right, in the sense that while it is challenging, for staff to have to switch and embark on this process very quickly and adapt very quickly, I'm also highly aware of the, the challenges that, of course, in mental health issues, like I alluded earlier. But I think at the end of it all, it has brought up the best in human mankind, as in we are actually collaborating to an extent that has never been seen before, because we really needed one another, to support one another to get through this tough time. So I think it has brought out the best in our academics. Yeah. How about Esther? You want to say something about student support?
Well, yeah, getting everybody to collaborate and just taking small steps at a time. I think that's one step at a time. That's my key takeaway. And I guess that's where we hand it back to our viewers at HERDSA and invite you to reflect on your own experience. Feel free to get in touch with us. You'll find our contact details below, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.